En el centro de la pampa vive un pimiento, sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento, sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento.
Hello, my name is Patrick Barnard. Welcome to the 127th edition of the Pimento Report. Bonjour, je m'appelle Patrick Barnard. Bienvenue à la 127e édition du Piment. We're here in the Technoparc area of Ville-Saint-Laurent, and once again we're on a bird migration, a bird pilgrimage. It is the 30th of March 2018. It is Easter weekend, Good Friday 2018, and we're once again participating in a bird watching event here to highlight the importance of this area in Montreal. Alors, on est ici, encore une fois, pour célébrer la nature en pleine ville. Voilà, on est encore ici, dans cet espace naturel, au milieu, au cœur de Montréal. Joël, c'est le printemps 2018. Le Technoparc devient de plus en plus important, j'ai l'impression.
Oui, vous êtes d'accord, je suis d'accord avec vous, parce que plus en plus de monde découvre la beauté de ce site et voit la faune, le potentiel aussi, que ça pourrait être quelque chose de spécial pour la ville de Montréal. Donc, puis c'est beau de voir depuis 2016, il y a de plus en plus de gens qui s'intéressent à ce site. Ouais.
Here we are again at the Technoparc. You've been hearing birds already.
Yes. So far we've got Canada geese, raven, crow, mallards. I hear a few little birds out off in the distance. I'm pretty sure they're chickadees.
Could you just tell us again what's important about the Technoparc in Montreal?
Well, the Technoparc is the #1 birding spot on the island of Montreal. Montreal has the least amount of green space of any large city in Canada. We're absolutely zero on the scale. This is one of those green spaces. This is a space that's as large as I think 5 Mount Royals. This is a huge space, and the birds come here. It's called the Central Park effect, which is when all the spaces around are industrialized. All the birds flock to the green space, and so that they can be fed and they can breed and even just pass through. So here we have the Central Park effect. All the birds are coming in. We have water birds, we have birds that live in forests, we have also marsh birds, and we also have birds that live in grasslands. So this is why we get so many different kinds of birds, because we have all these different habitats.
J'ai parlé avec Lisa Mint ce matin et elle a parlé de ce qu'on appelle en français l'effet de Central Park. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Les oiseaux dans les milieux urbains, eux, ils trouvent les milieux. Et c'est ça que les oiseaux ont fait ici. Est-ce que les politiciens sont capables de comprendre comment c'est important?
Je pense que les politiciens, bien, surtout dans ce dossier ici, sont jamais vraiment venus visiter le site. Puis l'invitation est toujours là. Hein? Venez quelques heures ici, puis tous les gens depuis 2 ans qui ont visité le site, ils ont été séduits, ils ont vu la beauté, puis ils ont vu le potentiel et ne comprennent pas pourquoi la destruction, pourquoi qu'on détruit ce milieu humide. Puis l'effet de Central Park, c'est que souvent sur l'île de Montréal, on perd des espaces verts chaque jour. Et depuis quelques années, ce secteur n'a pas été touché. Et les oiseaux, leur instinct premier, c'est de survivre. Et donc, ils ont retrouvé ce site, ils sont installés. Vous avez plusieurs types d'habitats, forêts, prairies, des milieux humides. Et c'est devenu un bijou sur l'île de Montréal. Et c'est triste que les politiciens viennent pas le voir. Et parce que je pense peut-être qu'ils pourraient changer d'idée.
Neil Whitehouse, here we are. Are we calling it its year 2 of the migration? Are we calling it a migration or a pilgrimage?
Yeah, human migration on Good Friday.
All right, okay. What's the importance of Technoparc? I asked Lisa earlier. Tell us.
The area of Technoparc is an extraordinary place for biodiversity. I understand it's like that because it combines a number of different habitats close by one another, and the animals and plants and birds have learnt that that's very rich. So it's the #1 birding spot of Montreal. There are a wealth of amphibian plants that haven't yet been properly accounted for and valued. We know now that there are 2 endangered species in the area, the Least Bittern and the wood thrush, and we're hoping that that will make a difference to protect the habitat as law demands.
At about 8 o'clock this morning, I talked to Lisa Mintz in the woods about the Central Park effect. That is now a principle that's used in bird ecology. It's very simple. When green spaces, natural spaces decline in an area, the birds will find a place to go to. In Manhattan, it is Central Park, where an enormous number of migratory birds do their business, such as eating and breeding. Is Technoparc like that now for Montreal?
Certainly, it still is. That's why it's the #1 birding spot. It's been weakened by the road work and drainage work that's taken place here, so that one of the areas that was supplying a lot of fish for the birds was drained really last year, and we're very worried that that will have a knock-on effect. Also, the roads through the area have given access to cats, for example, that weren't there before. So numbers have declined compared to 2015, if we look at 2017 figures. What we do know on the good side is that if left alone, nature will come back with force.
And you think this should be left alone, don't you? You think this development, quote unquote, should stop?
Absolutely. I think it's a much richer place for human beings if we retreat a little again and then make proper, respectful walkways through the area.
Now, yesterday, we are March 30th, yesterday, March 29th, 2018, there was an announcement about the Technoparc, which is a para-municipal organization. What was that announcement and what's the importance of it?
What I understand is that there was a report in January of the Vérificateur Général criticising the behaviour, the practice of Technoparc as a not-for-profit organisation, that they had sold land without proposals for building upon that land, which is opening the door to speculation on land prices, and that's a worrying practice. And for that reason, the City of Montreal have decided to no longer fund Technoparc as a not-for-profit organisation, and I presume that will have a tremendous effect on the plans of development of the area of Technoparc. Yeah.
So can we say that it looks a little bit better for the birds?
I'm hopeful that that's the case. I believe it depends to what extent business plans have been signed and proposals are going forward. But I don't see the evidence that the Eco-Campus Hubert-Rive has a lot of clients signed up, which would let that go forward.
Now, I have a question for you, which I asked Lisa. The birds, with their intelligence, have found this place. Why is it that our local leaders can't show the same kind of intelligence?
That's a very good question. I think this is down to money and interest. That the place is known, but unfortunately the view of it was an economic business view.
Sylvia Oljemark of the Green Coalition, you've written a well-used history of natural spaces in Montreal. What is the importance of this area?
Wow, we have the greatest biodiversity in all of Quebec, right here on Montreal Island and in its surroundings as well. Because we're in a microcosm, if you like, for a natural environment. It's an ecosystem all surrounded by water. People don't often think about the fact that we are on an island surrounded by enormous rivers. So that makes it very special, something to protect.
So Don Hobus of Sierra Club, you're manning the table here. Tell us why Sierra Club is so interested in preserving these woods.
It's the history of the Sierra Club. It goes back to 1892, where the founder, John Muir, was fighting to protect the mountains in California. And it's grown from there. Sierra Club is now over 3 million members in North America. And one of the big items that they're still working on is the protection of green space in North America.
What's particular about these Technoparc marshes and woods?
Well, they're beautiful. The birds that are in here are amazing. You don't really think of it until you get in there. It's a large area, and there's nests in there, and there's a rare number of rare birds that are on the endangered list. And we know that 40% of the birds of North America or more have been lost over the last few years.
The birds, as it were, decided that this was a valuable place. The birds came here. Their intelligence led them here. Why is it that our local leaders can't show the same kind of intelligence?
You know, I thought of that for a long time. I get angry with them, and I've come to the realization that what we've done is elected accountants, engineers, business people, and they don't understand the importance of the environment and the importance for future generations.
What is special about this area in particular?
Well, this marshland area is right in the flatlands of the island. We're right in the center of the island, right where we're standing, close to the airport here. And I believe we're standing on top of a great aquifer that supplies water to all the marshes close by, and it gives rise to 3 creeks that 2 run south down to Lake St. Louis, and another runs north and empties into Rivière des Prairies.
Now, if the plans of the Hubert Reeves campus, as they say, campus, go ahead, and if the REM goes ahead, that is the electric train that's proposed, this area is going to be very heavily changed.
Yes.
If it's a center of aquifers, what are our politicians thinking?
I don't see the logic of running an electric train. It's going to be run underground, right where we are here, and over to reach the airport. They're going to bump into those aquifers. How do they keep an electric train, and I stress the electric, out of danger in such an environment underground?
It seems as if our political leaders at various levels know nothing about this environment.
No.
Is that fair?
It seems truly to be the case, Patrick. You wonder what goes through their minds, you know, of the folks, because just simple good sense should dictate that we do a lot of things differently.
Now, if you had the power at a municipal level, should we say, what would you do with this area?
Oh, I would say, well, let's just conserve what's left of it immediately, because it's being stripped out right now.
Combien d'espèces font leur niche ici, Joël?
L'éventaire que j'ai fait en 2016, puis on inclut un peu le golfe de Dorval qui est beau, puis un peu l'aéroport. Il y avait au moins 80 espèces qu'on pourrait dire qui nichent dans ce secteur. Et la période estivale, durant l'été, il pourrait y avoir 100 oiseaux qui fréquentent ce site. Parce qu'il y a des oiseaux qui ne nichent pas, mais ils utilisent le site pour la nourriture. Un exemple, le grand héron. Il ne niche pas ici, mais il va rester ici pour se nourrir pour l'été.
Joël, it seems that the Technoparc is becoming more and more important to people who think about natural spaces and animals on the island of Montreal. You've helped make it well known, but it was the birds really who began to come here as they lost habitat elsewhere.
Yeah.
How do you see the importance of this site now?
Well, it's more and more important every day with more and more development, which it's, I'm not against. It's just that I think sometimes we have to be careful of where we build our stuff. And we always preach our children to do recycling. But if you look around just this area in Ville Saint Laurent, there's so many abandoned buildings and old lots that they could probably have constructed there. Now, the fact that they're destroying a nice, beautiful haven like this wetland and these forests, and also having a train going through this, and it's a little sad. And it's sad that they don't pay attention, right? And they should, because I think that's the most important thing to preserve on the island. We're losing green spaces every day. So
now, last year on this migration, you talked about the importance of Technoparc for nature in Montreal, for people's appreciation of nature in Montreal. Obviously, you still feel that way.
I think we will, once the place could be protected, we can look at making it a little bit more accessible to people. I believe it has potential as a nature park attached to the airport, for example, that people coming to leave or on arrival could spend some hours here, and that actually could create some jobs.
The birds, as I understand it, have made this one of the most frequently visited places in Quebec for birds. It's the birds who have chosen this place. Is that right?
Well, in Quebec, has been the highest rating we had was number 2 in Quebec for birding, but it's definitely number 1 in Montreal. That's more than Ile Bizarre. That's more than all of these areas that are protected and have like huge bird watching populations.
Now, I don't want to use any names, but why is it that some municipal officials do not understand this?
Well, it's much easier to develop green spaces than it is to develop brown spaces. Plus, there's this corporate ideology now that they want to have a building in the middle of wetlands or in the middle of a park. Like, they want to be near green spaces, not realizing that this is actually destroying the green space that they're coming to. If you look at the plans for Technoparc, there's not going to be a lot left.
En el centro de la pampa vive un pimiento, sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento.